Hi, it's Panda Movies here. Today, I'm going to explain the movie called In the Earth. Warning, there are spoilers ahead. Enjoy the video. Martin Lowery is a scientist assigned to a government-controlled outpost outside of Bristol in an extraordinarily rich woodland area to assist his former colleague and ex-lover Olivia Wendle in her research and trials on exploiting mycorrhiza to boost crop efficiency. He hears of the local legend of Parnag Fegg, a woodland spirit, after passing a physical examination and meeting his park guide Alma. Martin and Alma start their two-day journey toward Olivia's grave the next morning. Olivia hasn't been heard from in months, Alma informs Martin. Martin notices a rash on his arm the next night before being attacked by unknown invaders who raid their camp, smash their equipment, steal their shoes, and take part of their supplies. Martin's foot gets seriously cut when he isn't wearing his shoes. Zach, a man who lives in the woods, approaches them and offers to give them some shoes. Zach takes them to his own campsite, where he disinfects and sutures Martin's wound and feeds and hydrates them. Martin and Alma begin to lose consciousness, and they become aware that they have been medicated. Zach snaps ceremonial shots of them in weird outfits and postures while they are unconscious, and stitches a bizarre symbol and animal gut into Martin's arm. Zach explains the symbol is a mark to be seen by a presence in the woods, who claims to have once been an ancient sorcerer who placed his essence in a standing stone someplace in the forest, according to him. Martin's foot grows infected as a result of his injuries, and Zach uses a hatchet to amputate some of his toes. Before attacking Zach, Alma obtains a discarded sword to free herself and Martin. Martin and Alma run, but they split up, with Zach pursuing Martin. Martin is discovered and rescued by Olivia after coming upon a standing stone. Alma arrives at the camp on her own, while Zach is frightened away by the amplified sound and lights placed up around Olivia's camp. Olivia cauterizes Martin's foot the next morning while explaining her project. They use the lights and noises from an electronic soundboard to communicate with the entity inside the stone, with Zach's help. Alma tries to get Martin to go since she doesn't trust Olivia and is afraid that Zach is still chasing them, but Olivia refuses to give up her studies. Olivia's side is covered by a heavy mist carrying fungus spores the next morning, trapping them. They put Alma in a hazmat suit and send her through the mist, but the spores get through and cause her to have terrifying dreams. The mist closes in on the site that night, and Zach appears to meet with the others, advising them to use sounds and lights to communicate with the standing stone, as well as consume a sacrament, a mixture of ground mushrooms mentioned in the novel. Martin accepts the sacrament and waits for it to take effect before drinking it. Zach sets up a trap for Alma and prepares to kill Martin. Alma returns to camp and discovers Olivia in her tent, surrounded by more photos of her and Zach's victims. Alma defends herself against Olivia's onslaught. When Zach hears them fighting, he hurries back to camp, where Alma murders him. As the mist descends over the camp, she pursues Olivia back to the standing stone, where they are all tortured to further spore visions. Alma and Olivia awaken far from the stone the next morning, having awoken from their trances. Olivia sinks on the ground, filled with awe. Alma then approaches a waking Martin at the stone and offers to take him out of the woods, speaking in a distorted voice.